We're
Mark,
live.
You're on, buddy. You're on, buddy.
Well, hey, ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, where we talk about the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. This is Mark, along with John and Pete, and we would like to welcome back to the podcast Mr. Oak James Miller. Good evening, Oak. And how are things with
Good
you?
evening, guys.
Hello.
So glad to have you on the podcast again, Oak.
John, you're going to hate this, but when Mark signed on, all of you were in the exact squares that you were supposed to be perfectly positioned.
Wow.
I didn't change anything.
Perfectly positioned. Well, it's just the same positions as last week. That's all that
It
means.
is, yeah.
That's all that means. And I don't hate it.
How are things, Oak?
Okay.
Pretty darn good. Just starting to get into the nice weather.
I
Enjoying it.
know.
Yes.
It's so nice now.
Is it
as a
like,
comment-
when does it get hot in North Carolina? Because it is not hot in New York, though it was hot in New York last week.
June.
June?
Like-
Like
So
bad
Saturday.
hot. So Saturday.
So you're already in the hot.
So
zone.
our definitions of like bad are different because like mid 80s to me is like nice, but
Yeah.
Oh.
I've had a couple days that were like 90s, but the really hot won't come till like July.
Okay.
When
Is it a dry
when will
heat?
it get? When will it get sticky?
It's not a dry heat, is it?
2 days.
It's a wet heat. Yeah, she's like
June.
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 As a kind reminder, if you
Yeah,
like
no.
what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button. Or as we like to say, or as I like to say, and John and Pete hate to hear me say, tickle that little bell.
Ew.
I think it needs to die with fire. The only way to be sure, man.
That's so negative.
There's no more tickling allowed.
No more
We've been
tickling.
sanctioned.
No more tickling allowed.
We've been sanctioned.
John, how you been?
Wait a second. I had to recover from that one. I've been great. I have been great. I had my time with Jamie, and we got ice cream today. Like I've been getting every Thursday, which I really like. And I took a little while to put my pants on this morning while I was working, which was great. I like working from home. And for someone who also likes working in the office, working from home is like really fresh. So I only do it once a week. I'm just like watch a little TV and take it easy. But I had a bunch of projects. Actually, I'm running a really interesting project with the procurement for a resource management software for NYSERDA, and that's been kind of cool. I got that project kind of like unbeknownst to me. I was literally on a meeting about it, and my boss was just like, "Yep, John's gonna run it." I'm like, "Okay, I guess cool." Cool. How are you, Mark? How's the secret mission? We are later than I'd like, honestly.
I know. I'm sorry. I want to go get away, but I can't because I have to be there because an important
Nobody
cog
believes you, Mark.
in the wheel.
Mm.
Oh, you'll find out.
Are you the
why.
bottom of a pyramid? Are you going to do a dance pyramid? I want to see a dance pyramid.
Yes, we're gonna do a dance pyramid. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like those
I have.
those puppets you see on a stick, all but in a pyramid form. I don't know.
Nice.
I have my
It's
guess.
going to be a vampire musical.
A vampire musical. Yes.
It's really.
I didn't
Steph's
even know it was a
guess, but
comedy.
I agree.
It's a breaking team. He's going to be in the Olympics.
We're trying out for the Olympics.
Oh,
Are
breakdancing.
you one?
Yes.
Are you going to be one of the rabbits?
Maybe
Mark, okay. What's your b-boy name?
my b-boy name.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
know.
what they
Is
call
it-
breakdancers, b-boys.
Is
Yeah.
this like a? No. I mean, is there like a certain thing to do that, like your stripper name, like your street and your pet's name or something like that?
We're going to figure it
I
out.
don't
The
know.
research department is on that.
While the research
what?
department does that.
I'm going to ask OpenAI.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Pete, how are you?
Good. Just went running today in the spirit of some of the topics that we're
Nice.
going to discuss, and yeah, just
That's how you prepared for the show to talk about running, as you actually ran.
yes. I had to get in the right mindset, and I mean it's like 1/50th of the distance that Oak runs every day, but
Oh yeah.
You just wanted to be like Oak.
you
We've
know,
been doing that for years.
Don't we
We-
all
we
want to
do.
do?
No, we all do.
if
We
I
all
had the
do.
time to just run and still
There's a place I like to go axe throwing by me, and they have all of the lanes named after trees, and of course there's an oak lane.
of course
Clearly.
The
Yeah.
very first time I saw it, I sent it to him.
nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it works pretty good. We're churning away now at a fun show that's it's a lot of fun to work on because we kind of have free reign, and they're like, as long as it's done fairly, like, efficiently, time
like,
and money wise.
Make it good.
Kinda, yeah, which gives us a lot of freedom. So we're like, CG department, go! Like, all these other things go, and it's a lot of fun.
Have you ever heard the efficiency triangle in business? You can good, cheap, and fast, and you can only have two.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
Which two is it, Pete?
Oh, it's all three on this, baby.
No, it's not. It's impossible.
We've
On the
broken
triangle.
the laws of physics. We've broken the triangle.
I don't believe you. And just to finish this off, because I promised you guys b-boy names: Blaze, Matrix, Rhythm, Echo, Dynamo, Tempo.
Sounds like American
Spike,
Gladiators.
Cypher, Groove, Flex, Turbo, Phoenix, Nova, Vortex, and
Okay,
Striker.
now you are reading off American Gladiators.
Can somebody please be called Soundwave?
Soundwave.
Wasn't there a Decepticon named
Echo?
that?
Isn't that Echo?
Yeah, it's Transformer names.
Transformer. Yeah. The evil Transformers, Decepticons.
You're a Decepticon.
We
Thank you.
digress. Anyway, now it's time for our guest to take over the show in our segment, Ball in the Corner Pocket.
No, we got it. We got it, man.
But now you got it on the
So-
audio podcast.
That's fine. I can do that. That's easy.
Main classic. And,
Take it away.
who's
Take it
gonna-
away, Oak.
Yes.
So, who's going to outkick who in the last 600 meters of the Paris?
Oak, I
Is it
think
gonna-
you need to repeat that question.
Mark,
gonna
did you tell the guests what the Ball in the Corner Pocket's topic is today? Because I don't think you did.
No, I thought he wrote it up.
No, it's the Olympic racing. My God. We're talking about the Olympics, you guys. This is our big Olympics episode. I'm going to
Yes.
just do the hosting for Mark as he is still in the secret mission.
No, he's not. All right. Sorry. Take it away, Oak.
So, who's going to outkick who in the last 600 meters of the mile race in Paris this summer? Is it going to be her, or is it going to be Engelbertson?
I think Engelvertson's going to go full Superman this time and actually fly across the finish line.
For those of though
Hey,
not averse to running, can you explain who those two people are?
They're like the two bad boys of the mile race right now. There's like a lot of potty talking, shit talking that's going down. It's excellent. And this past weekend, Josh Kerr, sorry, South gets me sometimes.
It's okay.
Just beat Engelbertson within a mile race, and just by a little bit. But he basically did what Engelbertson normally does and started kicking it about 600 meters out. So, like a third of the race, like he started hauling and actually took the commanding win. It was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Now, Engelbertson said that he was trying not to go too hard because he's got a lot of other races and as part of his build towards the Olympics. And that's sort of true because Kerr ended up, I guess he's not really racing much before the Olympics. And well, Engelbertson just won another race 6 days later, like today.
Because he was mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was like, gotta
Which he
win it.
actually did Superman.
Yeah, we
Pretty
watched
epic.
it right before the podcast started. He literally dived over the line.
Now, is that like a thing that happens a lot, or is that
Excuse
really
me.
rare? Because I don't watch competitive running.
That is not a normal thing.
Not a normal thing. It doesn't seem like a normal thing. Is there like some sort of?
It's something you always.
gotta be-
Sorry, I was gonna say it's something. Yeah, you always hear about like, oh man, I wish they would do that, and they never do. Except this time they did.
Well, I mean, we watched the race. The guys were off. The Engelbertson beat the gentleman before him by 300ths of a second. So
In the mile,
in the mile, right?
right?
So they
it's not
pretty
like
much
it's a 100
both
meter
ran.
dash. It's the mile.
Yeah.
Well, almost.
And then and then the doofus who ran the first 800 meters and then stopped because he ran too fast.
It hurts.
It hurts so bad. He's like, I have a cramp, you guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm pretty excited about this because these guys have been like smack talking for like months, and I'm pretty sure it's going to continue all the way through the Olympics, and it's just super entertaining. Like it continues to hype me up for the Olympics.
So okay, so is the Josh Kerr on the British team? Is the British team very good? Is the Norwegian team very good? Are these guys just good as far as like their gold medal opportunities in Paris?
Yeah, he's really good for right now. So like what these guys ran during the Prefontaine Classic, or the Prefontaine Mile, the Bowerman Mile, are still several seconds off of what the world record is.
Mm.
And nobody is going to get close to that. Like it's just, I think, Pete, what that was back in like 98, I think.
Was it that long ago?
El Goulet. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like these guys are running fast and they're running like world class times. But it's pretty amazing.
99 in
Okay.
Rome.
Yeah,
And
there's
even
some
with
world
like
records.
super shoes and stuff.
Yeah,
And
I'm so excited about the super shoes coming soon.
So that was 341, 406 for women, and the woman who set it was in a Diamond League event in Monaco, which was actually pretty recently.
When is a woman going to break 4? That'll be fun.
It got super close.
Yeah.
What was it? I thought I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're getting close.
That's okay.
Can we talk about do the competitors, do they really go for world records in these diamond events? These diamond events are typically like warm-ups or like qualifiers even. Like they said that the Prefontaine was mostly just a qualifier for like the Kenyan team, right? They were just like doing test runs.
Yeah, so this is really like warm-ups, but was pushing the pace a bit, but
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. Like, and so I'm familiar with like horse racing. And sometimes, everybody runs a specific way. You have like front runners and you have closers. You have guys with really good kicks and guys with really good stamina. When guys are running either in the end really against each other or in the beginning really against each other, there's that drive pace. Do you get world records more when there's a battle like that?
yeah, it depends. It can go both ways because racing can be super tactical. And that's one of the reasons why it's really cool to see that he started his kick 600 meters out.
Yeah,
That's a long.
It's really early.
But where's it going to go? Normally, it's a long time to be able to sustain that kind of kick. But the fact that like he pulled it off on the guy that normally does that kind of length kick is probably putting a little bit of thought into Ingebrigtsen's mind. As far as like, oh, this could be real at the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
he's totally in his head now.
Yeah, his strategy is to fuck with his strategy. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
love it.
and just for me, right, to bring it back to horse racing because we're out of time, but Seize the Grey just won the Preakness from Mystic Dan, I think the horse that won the Derby's name is. And the Seize the Grey won the Preakness because they let him be out front too long. They're just like, he set a really slow pace in the beginning and it was really easy for him. And when it was time to, close, he was too far out in front. He had too much energy left, and they just couldn't catch him.
There was a guy in my high school that raced against a horse once.
Really?
That
The
seems hard.
horse had to run 2 laps. He had to run 1.
I was gonna say horses are faster.
And he barely beat the horse.
Except as you actually go longer distances, because there's actually long distance endurance rides for horses. There's like mandatory time periods in which they have to rest to like cool the animals down.
Well,
So there are cases in the past where people have raced horses over ultra distances and they beat the horse
yeah.
often.
The human being's greatest evolutionary trait is the ability to sweat and be gross because it lets us run forever.
Right. I mean, the longest competitive, and not this year, but the longest competitive horse race typically is 1.5 miles. That's about as far as they let them run consistently.
Yeah.
And that's not really a common
They
race.
overheat, yeah.
And we should move on.
Speaking of overheating, this topic's overheating. Sorry. Anyway.
You gotta save that, man. That's gold.
So
Gold.
all the distance running folks, because you're not breaking a gel out, in the middle of the mile. I didn't see any of those happening in the videos, but on the internets for longer distance running, there's a whole thing going on with energy gels. And there's a company that had posted that their energy gel had 150 calories, and people started doing the math, actually sent it out to do lab testing, and it's got the equivalent of 40 calories. And people are freaking out. There's people seriously lambasting the company. It's pretty hilarious. But I wasn't sure if Pete, did you see anything about this?
No,
in your circles?
No, and I mean, the only time I was ever given anything to enhance my performance in a race, which I'm not even sure if it was legal, was in high school where our coach found this super secret stuff, which I'm pretty sure was just Worcestershire sauce and red peppers in a cup with water.
And horse tranquilizer?
Pretty much. I don't know. But we drank it anyway because we were idiots. And he's like, no, it's some ancient super Mongolian thing that's supposed to be perfect for before the race. I don't know. So this is before the 800-meter finals in the all-county race. And I took it, and he's like, swish it around. And I'm like, oh my God, it burns. He's like,
Swish it around.
yeah.
No.
And then drank it down, and my stomach felt terrible, but I ran my PR.
Yeah. I was gonna
So I
say that
guess
would
it
probably
worked.
just make me. I would probably run the race and then run straight to the the porta potty
That's
right
kind of
after
what I
that.
wanted to do it. But I ran really fast.
All right, so talking about porta potty issues. So there's actually another technique. I guess it's been going on for a number of years, not necessarily during Pete's tenure of running track. There's baking soda and water. People will drink baking soda, and it's supposed to block basically the feeling of the lactate, so you can run faster, longer.
Really?
But it destroys your stomach.
Yeah.
Because
I was going to say that can't be gut healthy at all.
Well, there's a company, Morton, which you guys might have heard of.
Salt.
They've actually come out with a gel version similar to what their drinks and other things are, where people are able to consume it. It's crazy expensive. So it's only,
elite athletes.
bougie people or elites. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Back to your energy gel topic though, Oak. That's something that I do on my long runs. And it's not necessarily because I need the energy. I just have used it as kind of because I absolutely hate to run, even though that's the only kind of form of exercise I do. It's kind of like my little reward system. So on my longer runs, especially the half marathons and whatnot, of course, that's not a long run for you, but it's a long run for me. Pretty much every mile I do a half of a pack, and it's a reward system for me. So that's kind of how I get through that's kind of how I've programmed myself to get through the long runs. So that's how I use those energy gels.
Yeah, I like that.
It's pretty funny because it's a pretty divisive discussion because there's people freaking out. Yeah, it's.
I don't see what the big I mean, I guess if it's supposed to be this big thing, but it's right. It was just 40 calories of energy. That's not a lot of energy in this little pack, but
no. I mean, I just
the whole
assume...
deal is.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, if you were using it and you weren't feeling as energized, use a different damn gel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So wait. So you rub this gel. Where do you rub it?
No, you eat
You
it.
eat it.
Oh, you eat it.
If you're rubbing it,
You don't want to know where to rub it.
it's not going well.
Yeah. I was just like, I
You
don't
absorb
understand.
it through the skin.
Can we say
I don't
that soundbite
understand.
too?
Is it through the skin? Is it up the butt? Like, I don't know.
In the eye.
Yes. Gel to be rubbed anally during the race.
I will say,
It's not working.
yeah,
It's not working.
like the really high energy stuff, like the C3 and all those. I've tried those, and I won't have them ever again because
Really?
although maybe I have to have baking soda because I always have that moment.
Oh no.
Like about mile 7 and 8, I was like, you got uh-oh. 'cause
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I hate that uh-oh
Oh,
moment.
if you
Oops, I
haven't had
shit
an
my
uh-oh
pants.
moment, you haven't lived. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go
All right.
with like you haven't run a long enough race.
All right, I guess I have to ask
That's
it.
it.
Oak, where is the weirdest place you've shit on a run? And if you don't want to say, that's fine too. But it really just popped up into my head. I'm just like,
It's honestly happened in people's yards.
Oh no. Amazing.
amazing.
Under a bush or whatever. So not pooping, but peeing, right? So when I was running the Great New York Running Exposition that like goes like all through New York City, I was in Coney Island, like, and I was in like these neighborhoods, and like all of a sudden you have to pee, and you're on like City Street. It's like 3 a.m.
So you
All I
just go pee
started
where the
thinking
bumps
about-
pee.
No, but like no, these are like residential streets, and like, man, I gotta pee, and like all I'm thinking is everybody probably has a Ring doorbell. And
Everybody.
I don't want to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
peeing in there, and like like my picture's gonna end up doing that. So
What's
I
that guy
found
in the news?
somebody had like a fence, and they had like a big privacy hedge, and I was able to just like push up against the privacy hedge and just like pee through the fence into the hedge. To go.
Awesome. They'll never know.
You can do anything you want through the hole in the hedge.
Yep.
I've
But yeah,
definitely gone.
there's been times.
Yeah, I've definitely gone on a bike path, and that's troubling because if it's a busy one, like a lot of people are on it, it's really hard to hide.
Just gotta whip it out, man.
Oh
Sorry,
no, it
you're
was
gr- you're gr-
it was the other end.
Oh,
You're a
no.
grown ass man.
Winter is a tough time.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a
There's no
tough
hiding.
time. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to pop a squat
Oof.
in the cold. Ooh.
Oh, I've done it at like -20, man.
Oh,
Yo.
oh my gosh.
Mama.
I don't
Yeah.
recommend it.
No,
Man.
no.
And time.
How did we get here?
I
How
don't
did
know,
we
but we
get
can't.
here?
We can't.
On from poop to question 3.
All
Everything
right,
always
so
reverts back-
fucking love
everything
you guys.
always
this is one I
reverts
was
to poop.
hyping to Pete.
Okay.
The world is never going back, so you might as well get on the wagon. Super spikes and super shoes.
Yes.
So,
Super shoes.
thinking of an episode, Pete was talking about like one of the Olympic hurdlers, and this guy was like known for like after I guess Tokyo, like bashing his competition for like using super spikes. And recently he came back and said like, "Oh, I'm actually going to use super spikes in Paris." But it's one of those like they're not going away. So you either begin using them or you're going to fall to the wayside.
So I'm highly intrigued. Like, what are super spikes?
Right. Explain this to us.
Carbon. Okay, so you have like your normal shoe, and you guys might have heard. You've heard about like big happenings with the marathon over the last few years and super shoes. So the carbon plated shoes, you put those in spikes.
Oh geez.
So
to just give you more
So
rebound.
you're still talking about you're still talking about like the little slipper, big ass spikes, and a carbon plate. There ain't much between you and that carbon plate, but apparently works.
Huh.
Wow.
It reminds me of the Michael Johnson famous golden shoes that were like almost nothing. They weighed like 2.8 ounces. And that's what he broke the record for the 200, only to be beaten by Usain Bolt like 10 years later.
I remember you excited about coming back with like crazy lightweight shoes in freshman year of college.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you were like, dude, look at
Right.
these.
No, I was all about that stuff. So no, I'm all for the shoe technology. So bring on the super spikes. Like I was telling Oaken before the show, I had high jump spikes, right? That it was like it had special spikes in the heel. So when you go on, but only on your jumping leg. So when you plant, your foot just locks into the ground and you transfer all of your momentum straight up instead of sliding or losing any of it laterally. Right. I had like sprinting spikes. There was multiple cross country ones that were like spikes or flats, but it was always chasing like the newest one, right? This is 1 ounce lighter than last year's. And you know, how do they do it? I don't know. But sometimes comfort be damned. It was like, I want the lightest fucking shoe. I want to feel like I'm barefoot.
Let's like if you're doing 400, hurdles, you ain't going that long.
No.
That's
You know,
true.
so
Your feet can go have a little pain after
Exactly.
400
yeah,
meters.
your feet can do anything for a minute. You know,
Sure.
like
Okay, I got a question. Do you know anyone that still uses like Vibrams, like the finger shoes?
yes,
That used to be like a thing
That
like
was
10
a
years
big
ago,
trend, yeah.
yes, it was a huge trend. Yeah, I still have some friends that like use them.
Do they ever race
my
in them,
end.
or do they just train with them?
I have seen people run races
Yeah.
barefoot,
Whoa.
Oh.
like straight up barefoot.
Huh.
I've seen people wear like the little Hirachi sandals, where it's like like a quarter inch of rubber and like it looks like a piece of leather string, like holding it onto their foot.
Amazing.
So, have I seen Vibrams? Oh yeah, there's plenty of crazy people out there to do that.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
I had a pair and I actually used them. This was one of the stupider things I've ever done. I used them to do a stair climb.
Huh.
Wow, my feet hurting after that.
Well, I can
And
imagine.
it was up 43 floors, and it
Oof.
was over
climb you do
over 600 steps. No,
Damn.
it was the one that I used to do in Boston. Now I
Cool.
do the one in Providence. The one in Providence is just half as tall.
Still, that's a lot of stairs.
You're half as
What?
tall. Ooh, that's a little close.
Aw, wait.
Aw. Womp, 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 womp.
You know what though? That deserves a virtual.
Yeah.
Is that a high five or a slap?
It sounds like a slap.
It sounds like a slap.
Oh,
Ready?
I don't know, bro.
I
We're so
almost
good at
tried
this.
that.
Amazing. All
I
right.
think we're good. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Mark?
let's do the show.
Say your words.
Hold on, I'm not ready.
Oh.
Do it, Mark. Do it now.
So we would like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Circuit Fitness Apps. Personal training in your pocket with Circuit Fitness Apps. Customize your workouts, track your progress, and smash your goals. Circuit, where technology meets fitness. All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
First topic. Yes.
Nice. So in late breaking news, late breaking news.
I don't think you can do the cool one for this, man.
No. Well,
No.
I was hoping that Pete was going to do it, but he didn't say.
You're
anything.
gonna just bum us out right at the beginning, aren't you?
Yes, because
Fuck
it's
you.
a big story. It's a big story.
Hmm.
Now
We're newsmen.
I know. We try to avoid talking about politics on this podcast, but we know how dividing. Oh, because we know how dividing and controversial it is. But-
Divisive.
This is a happy-go-lucky podcast. We want to keep everybody happy.
Hmm.
But something happened today that we couldn't avoid talking about as former President Donald Trump was convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records, which are felonies. And spoiler alert, there is a pending presidential election coming up this November. So everyone, what does Trump getting convicted of these felonies mean for the election, if anything?
I mean, what does it actually mean besides him having to spend some time in jail and spend a whole ton of money, which he
Is he going to go to
has?
jail?
No, but I
I
mean,
think
that's
that's
the
the
thing.
big question. Yeah.
The big question is what is the end game for the New York State prosecution, but overall for the DNC to push this so hard. I don't know. I think that I just had this conversation with someone. I had a conversation with my very conservative father about this, and he didn't. Most conservatives, my dad included, were under the opinion like, why? I mean, of course, he paid this woman. Of course he did. Of course he did. And the conservatives and the Fox News guys and the talking heads say, well, he has the money. Well, who cares? It's not illegal to pay someone. Well, the question is not, is Donald Trump rich? The question is Donald Trump ethical? Right? And clearly the answer is he is not. When you have a big pile of money that isn't yours and you have to pay a lady to be quiet about something that's embarrassing, you just take from the big pile of money if you're an unethical asshole. You know.
And that's only one of the things that he's being accused of, right?
Right. There's
a huge laundry list.
A lot of things.
Right. I mean, there's a big list, and I just feel this is so akin to like how they got John Gotti, right? Or how they got what's it face, Al Capone, right?
Right.
They got
it's on
them on
some
things,
smaller thing.
some smaller thing, some ticky-tacky thing that they weren't, slimy enough to get out of, but maybe it affects public. I mean, it certainly affects public opinion. The concern that I have is that we know that the Trump base and the middle America conservative Republican is not. It doesn't really give a shit about any of that. And does this just infuriate them and make them show up and fuck those liberals that keep throwing these unnecessary charges at our guy, not thinking about what does that mean for the country?
But this is where, I mean, listen, all this is news. Is this really going to affect the election that's happening in November? In my opinion, it doesn't. Because I think most people have made up their minds. Now, to me, there's like 5 different kinds of voters. There's the people that adore Trump. There's the people that don't really like Trump, but they're Republican, so they vote Republican. Other side, same thing. True Democrat, love Joe Biden. They're going to vote Joe Biden all the way. Then you have they don't necessarily like Biden, but they always vote Democrat. That 5th group is the group that, everyone tries to appease to. They feel like they can flip here and there. But I don't know. These two are just so well known. Nothing has really changed. They're 70, 80-year-old men.
Yeah.
And nothing has really changed about their politics in the last 8 years. People know who they're voting for. I really don't think there's anyone on the fence. And do I think this election? I'm sorry, this trial changed anything? I don't.
What were you gonna say, Oak?
The only thing that people are going to be Googling is, can you be president from a jail cell?
Yep.
Because you can be a convicted felon and you can be president.
You can.
It's really,
There's only 2 requirements, right?
Yep.
Like, can you have the football and be in a prison cell?
Because
but
that's safe.
it matters. It matters, right? I mean,
he's not going to prison though. He's not going to prison.
How? Yeah. So how? What would they do to, like, his legal team or whatever to get out of prison sentence?
I don't think he has to do anything because. So when I was watching the news, they broke it down like this: Donald Trump is a first-time offender of a non-violent crime. Just based on that alone, he's not going to jail, regardless of all this other thing that he's been alleged of. This is just the first time he's ever been convicted of it, of something.
He's going to get a couple days and time served, but yeah,
he'll have to pay a fine, a slap on the wrist. And again, yes, there are these other trials that are out there. I mean, you have the one down in Georgia. I just got to find 11,000 votes. He's got the one against Karen McDougal. He's got all of this shit against him. It doesn't faze him. People that love him, and he can do pretty much anything that he wants, and they'll still love him.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that really matters is when
he has become an idol.
Yeah, and
people worship Trump,
and sometimes in dangerous territory, being a martyr as well, a political martyr, not actual martyr.
What I'm saying,
right?
And does this just piss off the Republican base?
The Republican base, maybe
I think
not,
it probably does. Honestly, I think it does. I think it makes more of those people who don't give a shit for the rest of the year come out. I think it does. I think it's really problematic.
I could
honestly.
definitely see this improving his ratings.
Yeah.
With all seriousness, yeah.
All the
Like,
fucking
it's-
bikers, he's cool as shit now. He's gonna get a prison tat.
Oh my god.
And
Dude,
the thing
Martha
that really
Stewart.
and the thing that really pisses me off, and let me be really clear, and you guys are aware of this, but the listeners might not be. I am a center-leaning Republican, right? I am a conservative, a fiscal conservative, and a social liberal, 100%, the way I believe. Right, and I think that the problem with the current political system, A, it should never, ever be profitable and be a job and be something that people do for the rest of their lives. But B, there's no place for our entire fucking generation who doesn't zealotly go left or right, right? We have our own opinions and we think our own things, and some of those things are on either side of the line. I think it's really fucked up, honestly, that you have to be one or the other because.
Well, that is, yeah. I mean, people like us, are we the majority?
I don't know. I don't feel like we
Pretty
are.
sure we're the majority.
Independent's the majority. But
well,
So
if you're
which-
independent, that means you're more centrist.
yeah, I suppose.
In theory,
Yeah.
in theory, you have the majority. You have the extreme on the left, the extreme on the right, and you have everyone in the middle. I mean, think about what the
Like a bell curve.
A bell curve, exactly.
And by the way, fuck both those guys. Right? I mean, I hate zealots so much. Like people who dislike other people based on their opinions, which are none of their fucking business.
It is.
Honestly.
Wait, that is a truth fact.
Straight up. Slam dunk. Let's move on. We're out of time.
Well, were you gonna say something? Or
Are we fired up? Are we fired up?
give the last word in?
Oh, the only thing I disagree with is this whole group here. We're kind of like the same sounding board. Like,
Yeah.
it was this. We went to the same like college. We had like basically similar high school experiences and stuff. So I don't think that we're by and large like populace.
Side note,
Right?
Pete and I
Like-
disagree on like a lot of things. But
Well, a
he's
lot
my
of
brother-in-law and I love
policies,
him. I mean, like,
But that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't vote for a person. You vote for a policy.
right. That's why the world's so fucked up right now because
And I go back to what Mark was saying. That is not the way things are going to happen in November.
Mhm.
It's all about a person.
I mean, just like
Yeah, which is
90-year-old,
unfortunate.
we have the choice between 90-year-old Uncle Joe, who's sleeping right now. Good night, Uncle Joe. I'll see you later. And we have crazy fucking Donald Trump, who was president in a Simpsons episode 15 fucking years ago. Like, come
Yeah.
on. What
But, I
the
mean-
hell
Hey,
is going on?
Don't forget about RFK Jr.
Oh God.
In the immortal words of Kang and Kodos, what are you going to do? Throw your vote away?
Yeah. But I voted for Kodos. He wouldn't have made a laser death ray and forced us all in internment camps to build it. It
Jesus Christ.
would have been something else. Equally
Simpsons
bad.
are always right. Always right and forever. Somebody give me your next topic before I rant again.
All right, we're gonna get romantic. You guys ready?
Oh.
I'm ready.
Oh.
You know it's true. Everything I do is for the next topic.
Singing Mark.
Nice. Sing it, baby. So I am excited for this big Olympic episode with my running expert, Oak James Miller. So we're going to start off with a running question. The Prefontaine Classic was this past Saturday. Highly regarded as the top Diamond League meet in the world, it did not disappoint with a women's world record in the 10,000. 8 world-leading performances and a thrilling men's mile. Our reigning world champion Sha'Carri Richardson continues to be an Olympic favorite with a women's 100-meter win at 10.83 seconds. Special races in the 10,000 had been added to the schedule as an Olympic trial for Kenya, which allowed Beatrice Chebet to break the aforementioned world record, being the first woman a woman to break 29 minutes, winning the race in 28:54:14. So, flipping through the channels at Pete's this past weekend on his birthday, we came across the Prefontaine. This is the first non-Olympic televised track and field event I've ever watched. Just to let everybody know. As the trials and prep continue, who should we be most excited to watch about in international track and field, and what events are we the most excited about? And we did cover this a little bit in the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited about the mile. Like it.
I feel like
I think it's
the
going
miles,
to be super exciting.
it's such a good
But-
benchmark.
Yes. But the way the ladies perform, the ladies have been performing amazing a lot lately, but the pre was ridiculous. Like, it's just, if you labeled that the Olympics, that I would be very ecstatic over what actually transpired. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, the fact that we have like a new 10K record in, as we were speaking before, a warm up to the big game in a few months.
I mean, how
Just think of
impressive
what's
for
at-
women
Yeah.
is a sub 29 6 miler? 6.21 is the 10,000 meter.
I mean, the fact that I had a hard time doing like 5 miles in that time, that's pretty amazing. And that was at the peak of my physicality, and still I'm like, to just see a woman blow by that running an entire mile and change further is it's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
and this
like-
woman, not a big woman either. I mean, like very runner's body.
Yeah. You got to be light and fast.
Oh yeah.
But on the men's side, and it's interesting because they say that the physiological differences between men and women, as the distance increases, it diminishes because the women are thought to have better endurance overall.
Well, that's cool. That makes sense.
I was just talking about that on my
Right.
run today.
That 10K is like mind-boggling, but there's just so much. Like, yeah, I'm very excited about it. And
What?
my son's gotten into running, and like he's starting to get interested in track. So I'm
Really?
like
All right.
excited about
That's
watching
really
stuff
cool.
with him. Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
What is the longest Olympic running event? And do they do all the events on the track, or are there separate runners and events for like the cross country, like the street racing?
They do a full marathon in the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's on a track, right?
No.
No.
That's going to be out on the roads. They'll do a closed course, but it's always some form of like looped or out and back
Yeah.
because you can't do a point to point for records.
That makes sense.
It does end
But, yeah,
on the track though, usually.
Yeah. I'm excited about the marathon. I think there's going to be a fair amount of shakeup. Because you said track and field, I didn't bring it up, but Pete brought it up, so I'm very happy to
okay.
talk about that. The other weird one, which you guys might not even know exists, and it's existed for like a long time, is there's a 50K race walk. Now,
50K?
the ridiculous part is 50K. And these guys will race walk the 50K faster than their pace, faster than I can like.
Do they do
run
it like
a-
do they do like speed walking, like soccer moms? They shake their butt.
Yes. So the rule with race
bushwhacker
walking
style.
is you can't have 2 feet off the ground at the same time.
Right.
Now, they actually have people like spotting and like, like pointing stuff out. Like it's pretty wild. Now, these days with cameras, they can technically see in some cases there's 2 feet off the ground, but it's kind of commonly accepted because it's not. But yeah,
It's not
They
like a
look like
running.
they're
thing,
shuffling.
yeah.
yeah, but they almost shuffle like they've got to take a really bad poop.
It's
Wild.
really, but to get the amount of speed out of that technique is so cool to me.
Yes. Like it's phenomenal that like they're, it's like 7-minute pace walking. Like that's ridiculous.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
There was a kid in my high school that he was a good cross country runner and like pretty good distance runner in general, but he realized he was like the lankiest kid we knew, even lankier than me, and he just happened to have like rubber legs. There's another thing I was talking about earlier. I'm glad I ran because I talked to a buddy of mine and we basically prep for the show. He ended up realizing he had a knack for race walking. He was really good at it because he would just like, his legs were just like, but he could do that while keeping both feet in the ground.
Do it again, Pete.
Or at least one foot in the ground.
Please do it again. That's amazing.
It was like rubber band legs, but it worked. So he could do the race walking technique perfectly.
I will say some of my favorite race pictures are with when both feet are off the ground and it looks like I'm just floating.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're the most excited about the mile. What is the weirdest foot race that is going to be at the Olympics, and then we'll be done?
I mean, it's got to be steeplechase, right? Barriers in a water pit.
It is fucking weird.
It's ode animal.
I
Yeah.
love it.
It's like Olympic CrossFit, right?
That was my favorite thing to ever run in track and field, and I fucked with people in that race.
Pete explained the competitive steeplechase to me, and I did not believe him until they went into slow motion and showed the runners mounting in their full stride the big thing and jumping over the water pit, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this event if you haven't watched it before. It's the weirdest effing thing you'll ever see.
And if you got a guy gaining on you really quick on the final lap, and you're coming to the water pit, use my technique of purposefully jumping into the water pit and cannonballing. And they don't know what to do. So he had to also fall into the water pit. And then I was able to climb out faster and run.
I have never...
God, no, what have you never done?
I've never researched like how the steeplechase came to be, but I can't imagine someone being like,
They must have been high.
awesome. Let's dig a hole in the side of the track.
Yes.
And we're going to make them jump in a pile of water.
Fill it with water. But put a giant barrier in front of the water.
I get hurdles, right? Like hurdles, you're like, okay, you can run really fast, but can you jump over something and run really fast?
Yeah.
But yeah, steeplechase.
But like hurdles are hurdles. Like if you knock into a hurdle, you knock the hurdle down. If you knock into a steeplechase barrier knock you down.
You go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barrier kill you.
Yeah. It's very
you
painful.
Die.
All right, we're way over.
I mean, not way over, but we're over.
Amazing.
It's go time.
I want the next topic. So put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
I'm excited.
My head's still bobbing.
Harrison Butker may be a somewhat funny name to pronounce.
Fuck that guy.
But he got himself in a not so funny situation after a commencement speech he made at Benedictine College. Now, while most Americans may not have known him from being a place kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, just about everyone knows who he is now. He had orated what some believe are homophobic and sexist remarks and has since not backed away from them, while even stating, quote, "It's clear that that timeless Catholic values are hated by many," end quote. So, everyone.
Sorry.
That was unexpected.
Fucking depressing topics, Mark. Seriously, bro.
A lot happened while we were on break, okay?
Apparently.
Should Harrison Butker receive punishment or retaliation for his controversial commencement speech?
I mean, he's a fucking kicker. How are you such a narcissistic
I don't
douchebag? And you're a fucking kicker. You're the gayest position. Sorry, pardon my French. In just the worst position. I'm going to cut that out. The worst position in football. Oh my god!
Is it though?
You're like I'm such a man.
But I mean,
All women should be cooking. My wife was the most excited when she became a mother. Fuck you.
He's not
asshole.
British.
I don't know,
He's not
yes.
British.
I don't know.
I'm
the
sorry.
kicker,
That guy.
the kicker is the
and-
putter of football, though.
And I'll tell you what, too, right? Travis Kelce, who has a major fucking platform right now, didn't lambaste him. Like, I don't understand the NFL right now.
Yeah, that part of it worries me.
Travis Kelce's like, I don't know, I don't speak for Harrison. He's probably not even friends with Harrison because he's the fucking kicker.
I did not expect this topic to tick John off so much.
Pissed
Wow.
off.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised.
God damn it.
And John was raised Catholic.
You know what though? Overall,
With four,
I mean, like,
by the way, with 4 sisters and a daughter. Fuck that guy.
no, like
Straight up.
Look, kicker or no, he's an NFL player. He's a role model. So yes, there should be some discipline because
Is he a role model?
well, it was. But here's the problem. Do
No,
you want,
no. Well, wait. You're saying the NFL place kickers are role models?
I don't know.
Okay. How many people who don't play
If they're
fantasy
really good.
football know the name Harrison Butker and don't think it's fucking fake?
Yeah. Wasn't there another kicker? Why are all these?
I gotta say, Oak, yeah.
The only reason I know is because of fucking fantasy. Jesus
Is there
Christ.
another kicker that also got in trouble recently? Brian McManus.
Oh, I was going to
Or I
talk
just call him
about
Brian McAnus.
Brandon McAnus,
Yeah.
who is another
Brandon
sexist
McAnus.
douchebag who rubbed up against a bunch of flight attendants this when he was
Do you
this
think
past
it's like
season.
the last name?
Maybe.
Is it the last name?
Maybe.
If your name sounds like an ass, you're probably an ass.
I wrote the McAnus question, by the way, and I thought better of it. I'm like, we're going to do a running episode. I don't need to bring everybody down. Sexist, narcissistic douchebags
Well,
who
he's
kick
now
a fucking football.
he's now thrown into the list of kickers with names that sound like butts that are also butts.
Okay. I'm gonna play devil's
Fired
advocate
the
here.
fuck up.
You are so I fired everyone up with my first two topics.
Amazing.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
No,
I am.
don't
Listen,
say it.
listen,
Don't fucking
listen.
say it.
He's a big fan of pie.
I'm not agreeing. I'm not agreeing with what Butker said, but all he did was just state his opinion.
To a bunch of women at a college.
Correct. And it's their position to listen to it or to not listen to it, right? Listen. No.
You can't say that shit. Whoa, Mark, this is what I
will
tell.
die on this hill.
Mark, this is what I tell
hill.
my conservative father. You can't say that shit anymore.
Court, you can believe it, you can say it, but you don't. It's. Listen, we all can believe what we want to believe. You could be a devil worshiper or whatever like that. That's great. That's great. You worship the devil. I'm gonna do me. Okay. People can believe whatever the fuck they want to believe. Okay. But the minute that they try to, either hate you for your beliefs or literally just force you into believing what they believe, then that's a different story.
All right. To the guy who screamed gay like 5 minutes ago, are you telling me that a person with a platform can tell half of the population that they will be the most valued if they stay home and do fucking Handmaid's Tale shit? Are you telling me this? Because I hope you're not.
I'm not saying that I believe it. No, whoa. Listen, I'm not saying that I believe in it, but I'm saying people have the right to believe what they want to believe, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, absolutely. Freedom of speech, First Amendment right, okay?
Do the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th because they thought it was okay?
That's different.
No, it's not different. They thought they were doing the right thing.
That's completely different.
Incorrect.
No.
Same argument.
It's not the same argument because it's a difference between beliefs versus actions.
No, but they all believed they were doing the right thing, Mark. It's
You're
the
absolutely
same
right
argument.
about that. You're
but they
absolutely
acted upon it and broke a bunch of laws.
Exactly.
And so did Harrison Butker. He didn't break laws, but
exactly. He didn't break any laws.
He acted upon his beliefs, which were
He
incorrect.
didn't break any laws. And they're
I
only
think
correct because that's what you deem as incorrect.
I think that's the difference that Mark is trying to point out is just that it comes down to actual like legal nomenclature here.
Okay. What I'm going to say, which was brought up to us by creative director and friend of the show, Stephanie Ford Stefan, is that we, 4 white men, don't have any fucking say about what women believe, what they should hear, and really us arguing about it honestly puts us in a weird position because we're not supposed to. It makes them uncomfortable.
Or at least
I love by the way that you forget that I'm not a white man, and you've done this multiple times on the show, by the way.
Oh my god.
You're still
It's that
Italian.
beautiful radio voice.
I just see you as an Italian. That's all. I'm sorry.
Either way, though, no. When it comes to like
this
having female direct representation, we don't have that on the show.
And that's what I'm talking about. And I think it's important for us to realize that when we're talking about women's issues, and this is a women's issue.
I would argue against that. I would argue against that. This is freedom of speech issue. This isn't a women's issue.
A person
he's not trying to pass a law that says all women have to.
I mean, but he would if he wasn't a stupid.
But he's
kicker.
not in that position. This is one of the reasons why this country is so divided. Listen, we all have our own beliefs, and now we're arguing against the other side because they don't match our beliefs. Everyone's has a right to have their own opinion, correct?
I mean, yes. You are correct that everyone has a right to their own opinion. I literally just said that 5 minutes ago about something else.
Exactly. So
But
you can't be upset that he has that position. Now, yes, he had a platform to do it or to voice his opinion. That's his opinion.
I mean,
he's not
this is-
saying all you women should be in the kitchen.
Mark, buddy, this is dangerously close to saying that people who do mass murder and people who do dog fighting and people
You
who
are
do
jumping
all
to
these
conclusions.
who do all these
Again,
very
action versus belief.
yeah, but okay, if you think that Harrison Butker in his home life is not a narcissistic, chauvinistic douchebag,
I did not say that.
I mean, he
I
is.
did not say that
He's
at all.
not nice to the women in his life.
And
because he thinks
listen,
these ways.
I am not saying that I agree with Harrison Butker's belief. I'm just saying he has a right to his belief.
It's just a very dangerous place for you as a person and us as a show to stand on to sit with Harrison Butker. I disagree.
Why are you saying that I sit with Harrison Butker?
I disagree with you.
You want me to say on this show? You want me to say on the show that I do not agree?
No,
I formally agree. As a red-blooded, apparently white American, I do not agree with Harrison Butker. I do not believe that the women's only place is in the kitchen. I do not believe that a marriage has to only be between a man and a woman. You happy?
I mean, a little bit, honestly. Because
I did say I'm playing devil's advocate.
I understand.
Yes.
And by the way, and for all the listeners who'd like to hear Mark and I argue, this is what makes the show good and what makes Mark and I's friendship good is that we can have this conversation. But I think that we have to just sit in a place where we understand that the real problem with the country is that there are still people who believe the things that this guy said on a national stage and didn't apologize over. I mean, they still believe that. They still believe women shouldn't vote. They still believe people who aren't the same color are lesser. I mean, they still believe all the fucking things that are putting us, again, 100 fucking years in the past. We shouldn't be having these conversations anymore, you guys. It's 2024. It boggles my mind, right? That we're having these conversations.
Yeah. Who raised him like that?
Who raised him like that? A bunch of small-minded people talking about small-minded things and making him believe it. So you said his beliefs should be believed, and everybody's beliefs should be believed, by the way. I believe everybody should have their own beliefs. But when your beliefs are 100 years in the past, they're problematic, and you shouldn't be spouting them. You keep that shit in your own fucking space. I swear to God. Anyway, I love you.
There's going to be new training coming out from the NFL from this, I feel like.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, people are going to want to forget it.
I mean, the Chiefs want to fucking forget it.
It came out after the speech came out, and it hasn't really come out since this podcast. Hey now.
We're bringing it back. Yep.
Oh, that was a good way to end it.
So
I didn't really do that on purpose.
One of the next topics that you guys. Oh no, John did the Mortal Kombat song. Was it?
I did it for the intro.
For the intro. When you first started doing it, I thought you were doing the Mega Man, like when you select a bad guy robot. So with that preface in mind, next topic.
That was amazing, Mark. Or Pete. My name is Pete. I'm so fired up. Jesus Christ. All right. We're gonna do something a little lighthearted because we need to not think about that anymore. For the first time ever, Olympic breakdancing will be a sport in the 2024 Summer Olympics. The teams will be comprised of 2 men and 2 women, but will be highly dependent on the DJs, which have not yet been announced, and the crowds themselves. In total, 16 total B-boys and 16 B-girls will face off in solo dance battles. The sport itself made its Olympic debut in the Youth Games in 2018 in Argentina. And so, with the introduction of surfing, skateboarding, and sport climbing, do you think the Olympics needs to work this hard to appeal to a younger crowd? And what do you think is on the horizon in the future of the Olympics?
I mean, they definitely brought breakdancing in to appeal to a younger audience.
For who grew up in the 80s?
No, because it's
is breakdancing making a comeback?
I mean, right? A younger audience doesn't give a shit about breakdancing.
No, in all seriousness, yes. Like, listen, it's...
You got to remember, this is not just the United States.
Yeah,
That's
this is a global thing.
Right. That is true.
Now, one thing, John, I need you to clarify. You said something about DJs. Does that mean that not every country has their own DJ? Like, there's only going to be like designated DJs?
I believe that there is going to be a breakdancing event DJ, which I mean, it can't be a specific country's DJ. I don't think that would be unfair, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would that be unfair?
Do they bring? You mean you're I don't
Maybe they
know.
would add extra
I honestly don't know if they're going to bring their own DJ, but I don't think that's how the event will be run. I think that there will be a DJ who will run the event.
So I didn't realize that they were breaking this up. Like you had you said 2 men and 2 women.
Yeah.
So it's not like a
There's teams
separate
and
like
singles.
men's.
Okay.
Oh, there is singles.
Yeah,
The
I heard there was
every
singles,
battle
yeah.
will be a singles, and every team is comprised of 2 men and 2
You
women.
said battle.
I mean, they're dance
That's what
battles.
they
It's
wrote.
literally
They said
what
dance
it's gonna be.
battles. Yeah,
They are dance battles.
dance battles.
It's going to be
That would-
amazing.
That would be amazing if that's how the competition was structured. If it was like a dance off between the two side countries.
I mean, it's
I
literally
think
going
that's
to
what
be
it
like
is.
a pop culture movie,
Yes.
Eurovision or like Pitch Perfect and shit like that.
I love it.
It's going to be that.
Step up. I think that's
Step
the one
up,
you're
yeah,
thinking of.
step up, exactly.
Step up to the streets.
I mean, I
You guys know what got nuked?
what?
Explain.
Oh, well, for the Olympics, you can't add a new sport. You have to take one away.
Oh,
then
Oh
you can
yeah,
add-
yeah. That's true. That's true. So yeah,
So,
what was taken
3
away with
sports
these
went away.
3 sports? Yeah, what was taken away with these 3 sports?
I don't know.
No,
Oh, I
you're
thought-
asking
I
what
didn't matter.
got
I was
nuked.
waiting for
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
so what did we lose?
I don't know. And actually, another thing that I thought about, which was interesting with this, with the with the addition of these sports and these typically like maybe not breakdancing, but definitely skateboarding and surfing. What do the X Games do? Like that's a thing that makes a lot of money.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like X
Well,
Games, we're gonna
there's-
take those because people really like them, and we need to make more money.
I'm bigger than you.
Right, I'm bigger than you. Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
the Olympics just gives it more of a stage because I mean the X Games has gone on while the Olympics has gone on for a while. I mean there's been skateboarding in the Olympics for a little while, so it's really just giving it more exposure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I mean, and there's
I'm
plenty of
excited
different
about
events.
the sport climbing.
Sport climbing. Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, the sport climbing is going to be pretty rad.
Now, is that going
There's-
to be
there's-
like free climbing, like and like speed climbing? Like I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. So the sport climbing is speed,
Hmm.
and they're crazy fast.
Yeah,
Like
Nice.
it's worth watching some videos. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna YouTube
Um,
that shit right
and
now.
most of the world class people are not in the U.S.
Hmm.
We have world class, but not really.
Okay. It'd be like they should have a super event of that where it's like no harness. You win
So
or
honestly,
you
one of-
die.
One of
No, I'm just
my
kidding.
favorite
That's not-
things to watch, and it gives you complete vertigo in my MetaQuest, which is right up there, is the Free Solo has a VR video where you're literally like up there like free climbing, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. You hold onto your chair. You're like, fuck, I don't like this at all, but it's really intense and it feels real. And that documentary, by the way, Free Solo, that's a really, really great documentary for someone who has no interest or experience or knowledge of climbing at all. You're just like, wow, this guy is fucking nuts. And he's like climbing 100-foot crevices with no ropes. You're just like, what the shit is going on?
There's another one that used to be on Netflix for a guy that used to be around. It's like Marc Andre or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Like, did he
ended up
die?
dying.
No,
Yeah.
no.
From falling off a
It's not.
cliff.
It's not if. It's when, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
I
if,
mean,
it's
right. You
when.
do those kind of things. You're a ticking time bomb sometimes.
Oh, so I just found out what the 3 sports will be missing from this summer's games. One's
Okay.
karate, and then 2 are going to surprise you:
Karate.
softball and baseball.
What?
Really?
How about that? Hey guys, you lost out to breaking and surfing.
Yeah. That's pretty
Won't tell
bad.
you which one took you.
No.
Also, does Paris have great waves? Like, how do you surf in Paris?
They're
Do
gonna
they
be
just
the
like
public
go somewhere else?
wave pool.
Wave pool.
Wave pool.
Maybe.
Right. I'd imagine if it was like Spain or Portugal, you'd probably get some amazing waves there. But like,
Check it out. We're going down the Seine.
We're going
Yeah.
down the Seine. By the way, I heard the Seine is one of the nastiest rivers, and there's supposed to be swimming events in it, right?
oh no.
They're gonna swim in the gross ass sun. That's funny.
Ugh.
We're at
You-
time, by the
you
way.
remember
We're at
Brazil,
time,
right?
by the way.
Yes. I hate to do this on the show, but I have to pee. I'll be quick.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
Not on cam.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
it is a live
Turn your mic off.
broadcast.
Well, I'm
Turn
not
your
gonna-
mic off.
Peter.
You won't hear it.
Oh,
Turn your
'cause
mic
mic's
off.
not going to be
I know.
on. Peter, just fucking go.
be
We're going
right
to move
back.
on, though.
Well, all right, while you're doing that, we'd like to thank
Currently
another
being
fake
trans-
sponsor. We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Twist Yoga Mats. Align your body and mind with Twist Yoga Mats. Our eco-friendly, non-slip mats come in designs as flexible as you are. Oh, that sounds gross. That was ChatGPT that brought that up. Twist your space, your pace. That's one that's not going to be used again. So I've been using ChatGPT to come up with these fake sponsors, and so they're doing the taglines and whatever like that. And lately, I've been getting lazy. I just look at them up. It's like, oh, that sounds like something that could be real, but I haven't been actually reading the taglines. This one I probably should have read before the show.
I think it's totally fine.
Okay, I'll believe you. All right, what are we gonna do with the next topic here? I just did that one. Okay. Hit me with the next topic. Why don't you hit me with the next topic? I'm gonna go
Great
to
job, man.
I'm gonna go to my Olympics one. I'm going out of order now. So the Olympics are fast approaching in Paris, as we've been talking about already, and the countries can't wait to compete against the very best. However, there has been a looming story, again, we've brought up on this show, but it hasn't been talked about since, that broke out about a month ago. So, as a reminder, this scandal involved positive drug tests of multiple Chinese swimmers right before the Tokyo Games and a subsequent cover-up of those tests. Now, while the World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, has acknowledged the positive drug tests, no punishment or retaliation has been laid out for the country or the individual swimmers, and they are actually slated to compete this summer. So, everyone, why haven't there been any repercussions for the doping scandal involving the Chinese swimmers?
Money. Lots of money.
Hmm.
Right,
Next
'cause
topic.
It's China. And China likes to not lose.
I mean, Russia has
Oh,
money
this is-
too.
Not
I
as
mean,
much as
they
China.
Still, the really fucked up thing, I guess, is, and I never understood it, the nondescript country of, non-Russians
Yeah,
won
bullshit.
a bunch of medals in Tokyo. I mean, they won a bunch of medals and they competed all the whole fucking Olympics. They just didn't get to fly the flag, which I know is very detrimental to them, and they want to fly their flag and everything. But they made the same amount of money.
Yeah, exactly. They still made money. They still got a
Yeah.
gold medal or whatever medal that they got.
Hmm.
Like that's not punishment to just compete under some neutral country.
Now, hold up. We should not, if you're someone that's been working, at least 4 years, probably an 8-year cycle to get to the Olympics, and it just so happens that you were born in Russia, you shouldn't be fucked over because your
Yeah.
country sucks, right? Soon we'll be the ones, getting it, right? But
Yeah.
if you are clean, yeah, still give it a whirl. But you've got 20 plus dirty people, and every anti-doping agency is it's okay, don't look over here. Just don't pay attention to
There's
this.
nothing to see here. Pay no
We need
attention to the man
we
behind
need
the
to be able
curtain.
to beat Ledecky,
Right.
Nobody's gonna beat Ledecky.
No.
I mean, I think
It's-
we brought this up on the show last time, and I think it's a really interesting point. When you are a cog in a communist nation, and they tell you to take steroids when you're an Olympic athlete, you just do. You just do it because that's what your government just told you to do. And you're right, though. It shouldn't ruin their careers. It shouldn't ruin their sponsorship opportunities. It shouldn't ruin their lives. But God knows what they're going to do to them if they lose.
But how do you
mean,
differentiate between the ones that were forced to do it versus the ones that they wanted to do it anyway?
You can't. That's why everybody flies under the nondescript flags, and everybody
Sorry,
gets
they shouldn't
sanctioned.
compete.
And
I don't think anyone should
Yeah.
compete.
I agree with you, by the way.
Because what's the
I mean,
what's the repercussion against it? Oh, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we had a state-run doping scandal. It's like, oops, sorry. The athletes still compete, and they'll probably do it again in a few years. It's like, oops,
Yeah, so-
sorry, so we did it again.
I'm okay with people that are clean participating under like a third party flag kind of thing. You know, like the we're not, but we are group. But if you're dirty, your ass should not be participating. I don't
course
care
not.
if it was
of course not.
course
Yeah.
not.
this is what everybody does and you're dirty. No. You can wait another cycle, and if you can do it and keep your nose clean, yeah, or your butt cheek or whatever. But
your butt cheek.
You know,
rubbing the gel on.
Yeah, you can't have that gel rubbed in your
nice
butthole.
callback, I like that.
Can we because this makes me think about it, can we just talk about Lance Armstrong, right? Does Lance Armstrong not doping still make the impact that he did on cycling?
Isn't that
Probably didn't his
such a
Okay,
like,
wait,
it's such a
wait. Whoa.
tough- that's a tough question.
That is such a fucked up situation because
Fucked up situation.
cycling
Exactly.
is doping. It's not. It's
Everyone,
not
yeah,
like,
everyone dopes. Everyone dopes.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It's not like Lance doped. Oh my gosh, it is steeped in history of doping.
Yep.
Maddox and all of them had like fucking drugs falling on the ground, and people were like, "What's that?" Like, "Oh no, that's nothing."
It was
Don't
definitely
worry
not my
about it."
steroids.
Oh,
The Aaron
And so
Rodgers
then-
magic elixir.
yes.
And so then you got to think
That's all
about
I
this.
thought about was
Are
a
we
magic potion.
naive to think that in every major American professional sport, in most international professional sports, people don't take supplements and they don't go to the edge of legality because they all do.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. They push
baseball
to the
for
edge, yes.
fucking years. Every time they made a thing illegal, they would find some loophole to make it not legal and get caught.
Let's go back to what is it? Junior or senior year of high school. Mark McGuire, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the home run derby.
The
Everybody's
1998.
like, no, they're not juicing. I see twice. Like, why is Sammy Sosa like twice the size he used to be?
Yeah.
I was gonna
vegetables.
say, yeah, wasn't he
He ate
like a
his
little guy,
vegetables,
and all of
bro.
a sudden he's
Well, you
just
have like a record
giant.
that existed for 100 years, and all of a sudden it's broken for 4
Not
years
broken.
in a fucking row. It's shattered, right?
It's
Exactly.
slaughtered.
Yeah.
Well, the most telling one for me on that home run derby
Have you heard
was-
of the Invictus Games?
It sounds familiar.
I have. I'm not too familiar, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Well, it's essentially everyone competing, then
Do it.
they're on drugs.
Everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No
We don't-
rules. No
I think we
rules.
talked about it on the last Oak show. I would love just like a sport that is like steroids mandatory, body armor required, maybe cybernetic implants, just like
Like spikes
totally,
spikes on the shoulders
Mad
and everything.
Max future blood sport craziness. It'd be awesome. It'd be so fucking entertaining. The
So-
most America thing ever.
Actual modern day gladiators.
You just described like the purge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, have I been muted the whole time? I'm so sorry.
Were you
Oh,
talking?
I mean, you did not interrupt us at all, Pete. So that's whatever you were saying. I'm sure it was great.
Damn it.
We don't ignore you all the time, man. We just literally didn't hear you.
I was like,
this
I had
time.
some good stuff to say there. They just talk right over me. Oh wait, because they didn't hear me.
Pete,
Yeah. You're
we are out of
muting
time.
yourself,
Why
you
don't you
doper.
give us a final thought on doping in professional sports?
You know, I had it and now I lost it. So let's just move on.
Son of a bitch.
Go Super Robot Doping Steroid League with spikes on the shoulder pads.
Hell yeah. Fuck them all up.
I need a moment. I wish so. All right. For those that don't know, I have kind of the broadcast in my peripheral vision, so I'm not usually watching what's going on. I wish I could have seen Pete trying to talk and trying to like talk over us, and he's like, "Why can't anyone hear me?"
No, I'm like, I thought I had a good thing to add to that. They just skipped right over it.
The Mavs, by the way, won by a shitload.
yeah.
They beat the fuck
Yeah,
out of the
I figured they
Timberwolves.
would. I figured they
Yeah.
would. All right.
They won by 20. 4-1. Sad Panda.
That's pretty.
Who's gonna guard Doncic? Who's gonna guard Doncic? Tatum's gonna do his best.
No, probably Jaylen Brown.
Probably Jaylen Brown. That's probably
All right. You want the next topic? I got the next topic. I got the next topic.
That's pretty good.
Well, I didn't fuck around with this big Olympic episode. I have a third and I think final Olympic question for you guys. Toyota is set to end a massive sponsorship deal valued at $835 million after this summer's Paris Games. Sources are reporting that Toyota was unhappy with the way the sponsorship money was spent and said that the money was, in quotes, not used effectively to support athletes and promote sports. Toyota will be involved in this Olympics and is supplying 3,000 fuel cell vehicles for the Games. With the Olympics having the broadest international reach in all of sports, why do we think Toyota doesn't want to do business with them anymore? And having started in 2015, do you think the deal itself was related to the vote buying the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't think that it's because of like you're not honoring the sports that we're sponsoring. No, it's got to be some kind of weird money profit related corporate thing that why they no longer want to sponsor.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but like
Corporate bullshit.
and we may never know what it is. But it's got to be something like that. Like, right, there's something where they looked at the bottom line and like, oh, this will return like 1.76% less revenue over the next 20 years in our
We'll
stock.
only make $1 billion as opposed to $2 billion in
Yes.
profits.
Did anybody know that Toyota was a major sponsor of the Olympics?
I did not actually.
Not me.
Maybe that's why.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, that's a major sponsorship deal that they're losing, right?
Yeah.
How'd your nearly $1 billion contract work out for you? I didn't even know.
So maybe that's why they're like, it's not that there wasn't enough representation of the sport. It was there wasn't enough representation of Toyota.
Side note, competitive speed climbing is ridiculous. Sorry, I just watched one.
I told you.
Brought to you by Toyota.
Brought to you by Toyota. Like literal little spider monkeys running up a wall, like a literal flat wall. I'm like, what is even happening?
Is it like those horror movies where like the people like crawl on their hands and knees really fast and you're like,
Basically.
Yes, but up.
but
it's
up,
crazy.
it's even worse.
You don't do as much cowering in the corner going.
Right.
Dude
It's
literally
just
climbed
climbing
like a
straight up.
200-foot wall in 7 seconds. I'm like, what the hell is going
The
on?
fuck?
You can't do that?
No, with all seriousness, Toyota's notoriety in the games is nothing. You know, like whoever the condom sponsor is or the Olympic Village, they're the ones that are going to get known.
The real heroes here, guys. The real heroes.
Yeah.
Durex condoms.
That's right.
Keeping Olympic athletes not pregnant and not
There
having
is
diseases.
so much
since
sex that happens in the
1954.
Olympic Village, right?
Yeah, no, that would be
So
only-
much hanky panky.
So why doesn't Trojan sponsor the next Olympics?
Because I don't think
Why
they need
do
to.
they?
Oh yeah, that's true. We make enough money just on
Or
purchases.
do they? I think the question
The
is...
official condom of the Paris Olympic Games.
I mean,
For me, Oak nailed it. Who knew Toyota was a major sponsor? Who knew, besides me looking it up, that they were giving they were providing literally every car for every athlete and everything. I mean, 3,000 cars is a crazy amount of cars.
that is.
Crazy amount of cars.
But $1 billion for almost no return seems wild. And it feels like, and that's why I brought it up. It feels like they were like, Tokyo Games,
And
But
this
the question is, then go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this has become the problem with advertising now. When you get to a certain level, then you don't necessarily need to put forth all that money for brand recognition because everyone knows who you are already. I mean, why do you think that like Pepsi doesn't advertise the Super Bowl anymore and Coke doesn't advertise the Super Bowl, McDonald's, all these big names aren't spending millions or in some cases billions of dollars because their name is already known. Who's going to buy a Toyota just because they saw an Olympic during the Olympics?
Can we, in the final minutes of this topic, bring up something important though? What commercial?
How is
What
it
are commercials?
unimportant?
No, but what are commercials anymore? Like,
That's
what
true.
are TV sponsorships? Like,
That is a truth fact.
how does that even like where is their value at on their money?
I mean,
I don't think it's in TV sponsorships because I don't think people watch that shit.
People aren't watching TV.
For live
TV
sporting
ads.
events, though, they still are.
But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, more than
let's
any
even
other
break that
form
down
of
a little.
TV.
Let's break that down even a little more. Like, who is watching broadcast Olympic events that happen on a 6-hour? I mean, for Tokyo on a 12-hour delay,
Right.
but for Paris on a 6-hour delay.
Well,
like,
a lot of
who's
those
watching
are
them?
a lot of those are repackaged and rebroadcast in
on
prime time
Peacock with no
hours.
commercials.
Unless you have the commercial version of it, which we do because it's cheaper.
Or
I think
on,
because- well, I
on
think it-
YouTube with no commercials at all. I mean,
Because
like,
it's broadcast
Oh.
TV, though, I think people are still watching it live. Like, not as many
I
as
just
they
heard
used
John
to back
say,
in the
What
day.
are you, Paul?
yeah, I mean, I have Peacock Premium because fuck commercials when you're watching The Office.
That's one.
Straight up.
I know. That's
Alright,
actually
but
one
alright.
that we don't. But
But when you're gonna watch the Olympic Games, you're gonna watch it on Peacock, or you're gonna watch it some other way.
It depends on the event and when. I honestly, for
Yeah.
me, who is not you guys, like Oak and Pete, I will be like, hey, let's watch the Olympics for a little while, and I'll look up like the swimming event that happened yesterday on YouTube, or like I'll just go to Peacock, and it has its very convenient, like, pick a sport, pick a race,
Yeah, a little-
watch that.
right.
Like, that's
Searchable,
how I watch the
bite size.
Olympics.
Here's the
Yeah,
here's the
searchable, bite
event
size.
in its own little compartment, and go.
Which I think I'm probably the norm because
I'm not
Olympic
sure that's the
events are a
norm.
little weird.
Well, it's definitely
not sure that's the
swinging
norm.
towards that way, but it may not be the majority yet.
I think most people are like, oh, let's watch the Olympics. Let's see what's
But
on right
for
now.
$1 billion, I mean, I remember the Olympics when we were kids, right? You would turn on NBC and you would watch the Olympics and you'd watch whatever the fuck was on, and you'd be like, wow, this bike race is going to go on for the next 3 hours, and it's going to literally be a cam shot following 6 bikers, and then another cam shot for another 6 bikers.
But you were
for
riveted
3 hours
to that.
for
that
3 fucking
broadcast.
hours, and that's all you could watch. And I mean, that sucks. That sucks.
First of all, I don't think the main feed of NBC is airing a bike race for 3 hours long. They're definitely cutting to other sports while the bike race is going on.
That's
No,
like
it's just the bike race. It's
that's
just
like
the bike race.
ESPN
There's been-
ate the Ocho doing that kind of work.
The Olympics have morphed so much in the last 35 years since we were like little,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
The dream team came about when they were finally like, okay, we'll let professional athletes play basketball. That was a big deal.
Yeah,
That
it
was a
was. It certainly was.
Now we're having breaking, right? Like
Yeah.
things change. You got spider
Oh.
monkeys crossing walls, like
It just
Fucking
sounds like a
spider monkeys.
slap.
Why
It
was
is.
that? Why was that sound effect appropriate?
Fucking spider monkeys.
It was supposed to
Slap
be like
the
a
spider monkey.
no. It was supposed to be like a high five. Like all this stuff
Oh,
is
that
like
sounds like a
in the
bad
Olympics now,
euphemism.
but it just sounds like somebody slapping somebody.
It's amazing. I love it.
No, it
Now
is
we're in
true though,
time.
right? We're far from that Atlanta game
Right.
in '96. Anyway,
I
Whose
mean, I
turn?
just.
oh,
It is
I got this.
your turn.
Whose turn is it?
It's
Well-
your turn because that was just 3 for
Yeah.
me. So you have to do
Okay.
4.
Okay,
then
and I
do
got to
4, and then
introduce
we're
this next
done.
topic
Then we're
because
11 to
this
20.
whole one is about
Oh.
Toyota being a sponsor, and this is an oldie but a goodie for the next topics. I love what you do for me. Next topic. Oh, gets it. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to do a throwback right now. That's right. It's time for a throwback.
Rollback.
I think I'm going to do that regularly from now on, a throwback topic. Anyway, I've been binging on old episodes of MTV's The Challenge, and I forgot that they used to. By the way, that's a shout out to our creative director.
Yes. Steph is a huge
Stephanie
challenge
fucking
fan.
loves the challenge. Hey,
I
Steph.
forgot that they used to give away prizes to the daily challenge winners. Now, these gems included, listen to this, a 1-year supply of Blockbuster rentals, a T-Mobile Sidekick, a Saturn Ion, PlayStation 2, a Dell Pocket DJ MP3 player, and a Magellan GPS, among others. And watching these
Nice.
shows made me remember the first cell phone that I ever owned, which was a Nokia, and the one game that it had, which was Snake. You guys remember Snake?
Sounds really familiar.
Yes.
So everyone, what technology do we remember and or miss from our youth?
So you brought up Snake. I was gonna bring up Drug Wars on my TI-84 that I played while I was supposed to be doing math.
That was the most epic shit ever on our math
That game was
calculators.
fucking ridiculous. It was like,
Okay,
buy
so-
crack? You're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy crack.
But people got
You
like
guys
really into
realize
that
that They
game.
still have those calculators.
I still have it. I don't know if the batteries work.
No. Those calculators are still like popular. They've
Oh.
only increased by like 2 numbers.
Oh, so that they're up to like the 85
year.
or 86 now.
Yeah, like. So now I want to know if Drug Wars is still getting played.
Oh my god!
Watch
I don't
now.
see why not.
Now
I don't
Drug
see why
Wars is
not.
like made an Unreal Engine 5 and it's got like ray tracing graphics. But it's still the same game.
What else did I like? I really my favorite portable game when I was very young was those little like digital games that used to buy for like old school Nintendo games. So I used to like the one with the bar glass. Remember that one? You used to throw the bar glass down and you used to have to fill it up and throw it to the customers. Then you moved up and it was just literally 3 bars.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one.
I've never played that on the Nintendo. I've played that in the arcade.
Yes, in the
Ooh.
arcades.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do you guys have any arcade bars near you?
Actually, that's a technology I miss. Right? Like straight like old traditional arcades where like if you're really good, you'd sit there in like the fighting game console and everybody would put their
Yes.
quarters on the
I have a
deck.
couple of those by me. So Pete, the next time you're in my neck of the woods, we have to go to the free play arcade.
Yes. Okay.
It's
You will
so
love
much
it.
fun. I
Love
really
it.
like the ones where it's like $10 and you can just play all day, get
All
treats
day.
and stuff.
All day,
Oh,
every
see,
day.
that's great.
Yeah.
We walked
Yeah.
past a stand-up arcade bar in San Diego, but I had Jamie with us, and so we couldn't go. But that was the last time Pete and I were in San Diego, and we really wanted to go. And it looked really cool.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
There's also a lot of really good arcades in New Hampshire. So we go to New Hampshire mostly every summer with friends.
Fun
And so
spot.
Right, fucking Fun Spot. So we went to Fun Spot, and we'll probably go to Fun Spot this year. They actually did an arcade movie at Fun Spot. Arcade King or Arcade Master or something. I don't remember.
You know,
Maybe I'll do that for my birthday this year. We'll all go to the
technology that
arcade bar.
we've definitely moved past, but I
It's a great
miss
idea.
I miss the funness and quaintness of it was dual cassette tape players. I have like boxes of tapes that we used to record and just like us like doing stuff like this, right? Like
I still have some old tapes somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere over
like-
here, yeah.
there was one where my cousins and I, we pretended we were doing a sitcom show that we just called Sitcom, where
Mhm.
actually it was sports related. We were like radio hosts of a sports talk show, and then like each of us would pretend to be callers calling in, and it would get more and more ridiculous as the show went on. So we have a bunch of those in like old cassette tapes. But like
Can we take a moment?
high
though?
speed dubbing, like all those little tricks you would do with the old tape machines and tape to tape and flipping between the radio.
Can we take a moment
Good
though to
shit.
realize that our childhood compared to today was essentially the Dark Ages, and
Yeah.
I was trying to keep this a light topic because I have downed everyone, and now you're gonna bring us all down.
I'm not saying it was bad. But let's think about compared to today where we are. And this is what I tell Jamie all the time. We have this conversation. I'm like, Jamie gets bored in the car, and I'm like, listen, Jamie, nothing we had backlight, and so the car rides when it got dark out, and every light in a car was like a sharp
That's
pane
true.
of glass. You couldn't turn the lights on. You were done once the sun went down.
I remember
Literally,
trying
you
to
had to
wait.
you
No,
had to
my
stare out the
Game Boy had like that overhead light
Oh,
that
the
I could
overhead
use.
light, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You had to stare at out the
Remember that.
window or stare at the moon. You just had to stare when it
I think I
got
still
dark.
have my Game Boy.
I would read one
Right?
sentence of a book anytime we'd pass a street light,
I mean,
and then wait for the
right?
next street light to
Or
read
like-
the next sentence.
Or like when we wanted to go to the movies, up until we were like almost 20, we had to call
Yep.
and listen to the movie
movie
guy.
phone. Movie
Oh,
phone.
yeah.
We had to have like the
Welcome
best-
to Movie Phone.
We'd
It was
look
a
in the
good
news
thing we
in
were
the
young.
papers.
We had to have the best eyes in the world to look at the 1,000 movie times.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I got a good
Look
one.
read the paper.
What was the name of the phone number that we could call at RPI to like ask any question and they would like have the answer?
I forgot about that.
Amazing.
Because we didn't have the internet in our hands all
you're
the
right.
time.
What was it
Right.
called? It was like Ask something or
Was it
whatever.
Impact or something?
Or the
Oh,
fucking Encyclopedia Britannica. Jesus Christ, a
that's
book
no.
that you
Yeah.
had to read.
We all had encyclopedias growing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So encyclopedias are an interesting thing because where do a lot of people have encyclopedias these days?
Holding up their
Basement.
toilets.
So I knew someone
Their toilets.
which there was flooding and a couple encyclopedias got destroyed. Well, in order to replace an encyclopedia, it's very expensive.
I believe it.
Okay. So that was like a huge part of the claim.
That's
Because it's
fucking
contents. Something that, from a utility standpoint, is useless becomes like this high dollar item because it's rare now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That reminds me of the Friends episode where like Joey wanted to buy an
Yep.
encyclopedia set, but he can only afford like
he,
the letter
he only
D
bought a V.
or V.
No, V. It was
Yeah,
V.
Yeah, anything with V,
So
I got an
He
answer
would,
to.
he would talk about volcanoes and Vesuvius,
And like from a data perspective, from
Vietnam.
like a sheer computing perspective, my first computer had 500 megabytes, not of RAM, of
Oh,
memory. 500
megabytes.
megabytes of
Yeah.
memory. And so, and I remember our first computer with a gigabyte of space, and my father and I, my father was
So
a computer
much.
guy. 1,000 megabytes?
1,000.
What will we ever do with 1,000 megabytes? I mean, Jesus Christ, we have these things, right? With hundreds of thousands of megabytes. I have more RAM on this than I had in computers up until after college.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can transfer data over the air from anywhere in the world at hundreds of megabytes a second at any moment. We literally lived in the dark ages, and it's amazing how far the world has come to just keep up with cell phone technology. Because you think about it, technology has advanced in this way: battery technology, microprocessor technology, computing technology, all to keep up with the money that goes into the cell phone industry.
And to think it's robust too. I mean, didn't we just have a solar flare that hit that they said was near Carrington event level sunspot size and nothing happened?
Nothing happened.
Other than
There's-
gorgeous auroras that everybody got to see.
There is
Like-
low orbit internet that Elon Musk can point at anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Could you imagine if that kind of event, solar event, happened 20 years ago? We'd be fucked.
Oh my God. Fucked. Totally fucked.
Okay. So talking about unethical things that we were earlier, you talk about Elon Musk and he'll bring internet wherever he wants.
Well, fuck
One
that
of the
guy
things
too,
that's
by the
always
way.
bothered me is he can turn it off, and he has.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the scary part. Yeah. Right.
But isn't that every IT department?
I mean, there's a lot of
It's
redundancy.
different when you're in a
though.
war.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I think we're
him
blessed.
being a narcissistic asshole aside, I think that he has used Starlink very well so far, like sending it to Puerto Rico, sending it to Ukraine, like being like, you guys better move these trucks, they're gonna shoot at them. I mean, I think that so far he has not been unethical with him, but the
It's just scary that it could be.
we talk
Scary that
about
it could be.
Oh, he did.
yeah.
My understanding is there was at least one case where he turned it off on the Ukrainians.
That's
Ooh,
fucked up.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
I mean,
Which
we
is-
talk about
No, not
control
good
in
at all.
IT. I'm sure Oak does too, but we talk about like inventory control and just controls in general. We have to put controls on who orders what and who receives inventory, and those people can't be the same people. I mean, not everybody should have the keys to anything, right?
yeah.
So the fact that he has the keys to what could be the future of the internet, and obviously he owns it and will not give it up, is scary. The fact that
Yeah.
Microsoft essentially owns ChatGPT is scary. Control is problematic, honestly, ethically, at least. And we're out of time. Like by a lot.
It's all right.
It's all
Remember when
good.
I said it's been a while since we've hit 2 hours?
Well, Pete went to the bathroom.
But that was like 3 minutes.
It's the final topic.
Well, talking about things that happened when we're on break, this is a real interesting one. Earlier this month, OpenAI's new GPT-4.0 was released. The new version
Ooh, yes.
creepily listens to the spoken responses and responds verbally.
So creepy.
The problem is that the voice was eerily like Scarlett Johansson's portrayal of an AI in the 2013 film Her. On top of this, when 4.0 was released, CEO Sam Altman acknowledged the film itself on social media with a creepy tweet, literally just the word "her." So amidst the backlash of OpenAI's OpenAI has dropped Sky, the name of the AI, and has publicly claimed innocence. Do we think GPT 4.0? What do we think of it, that is, and whether or not they wanted to get called out for what seemed to be a pretty blatant shot against the film industry and the Screen Actors Guild?
I haven't played around with it just yet, but I will. And I mean, from what the things that I've seen about it, I mean, it totally is Scarlett Johansson's voice. And
She was pissed. She was like,
Yeah.
guys,
Right, I mean,
this
rightfully
isn't
so,
even
if
a
that's-
fucking joke. You
Right.
just
I know.
literally did it.
I know.
And the problem is they asked her publicly,
Mhm.
and she said
Twice.
no. Twice. They asked her twice, and she
Twice.
said no. I don't want to get involved in this. And they were like, yeah, it's a different actress. It's fine. It's totally
Right.
fine.
It's so
She's like,
different.
Just happens to sound exactly like you. And we're gonna market it as you, even though it's not you.
It's Charlotte Johansson.
There you go.
well, and my question, I guess, with the public call out and the fact that she knew about it and the fact that they did it anyway, did they want to get caught just so we're talking about it so that they can sort of tell the world that it's possible? Look what we can do.
I think
easily.
it's just like a kid that's trying to see how much they can get away with.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we all know how much we
think-
love Sam Altman, right? Right, John?
That guy's,
Right,
that guy's
John?
another fucking scumbag.
Altman is
Scumbags
obsessed
all
with
die.
her,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and
100%.
you know, I could see it very much. Communication being like, no, I want it to be like her, and you know, the minions being like, okay, we'll make
yeah,
it
this-
exactly like her.
I could totally see that
That's what they
happening.
told-
With the exception
Yeah.
of, I don't think he said I want it to be like her. I think he said I want it to be her.
Did we all
Oh,
see
it's
this
so
movie? It was a
creepy.
great film, by the way.
It was a great movie.
I've not.
I have not seen it.
Well, you guys should watch it. What's that on? I'm gonna look it
I'm
up.
sure it's on some streaming platform
Huh.
that's not Netflix.
Jamie is so well
Yeah.
trained, by the way. When we want to watch a movie, she'll just Google where it is. She's like, "Daddy, it's on Max," or "Daddy, it's on Paramount Plus." I'm like, "Awesome, babe, thanks."
Well, you're like fussing around, like, what app should I? She's like, I got the answer.
Wait, Chuck, did you get rid of Max yet?
I did not, and see, I was
Ah.
going to, but I'm not done with Chuck yet.
Hmm.
But here's the problem: the minute I want to get rid of you, you reel me back in. House of the Dragon's coming out in 2 weeks.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
pulled-
And
dun,
I
pulled the
can't
plug.
get rid of it for House of the Dragon, bro.
Yeah.
I actually pulled the plug on Max like a couple months ago.
Wow.
House of the Dragon.
And I've had little parts, like, because I still like to see John Oliver. But you can watch John Oliver, or at least parts of it on YouTube still. And I watched it for Bill Maher too. Although Bill Maher, I found out, is also on CNN.
Where are you gonna watch Sesame Street, Mark?
You know
Um,
who
I guess
30
PBS.
years ago.
kicking a lot
Isn't
of
that, isn't that
ass,
an
Just do it
HBO
there.
exclusive now?
who really has been getting a lot of the big new shows is Prime. Prime is doing a great job.
They're
And the
trying
last
to do better.
probably
I'm
three
considering
major...
getting rid of my Hulu now that everything is on Disney Plus.
So,
Aren't they supposed to
you-
just bundle together to be one thing?
They
Right.
have
I
a
mean,
bundle.
yeah,
That didn't
it's-
happen yet.
No, it's been a bundle.
should just be one
they
streaming
have a Disney
service.
bundle.
So that is what Mark's talking about. Many of the top shows like Bear, you can actually watch via the Disney Plus app.
Hmm.
Also, side note, watch The Bear if you guys haven't watched it
The
yet.
Bear.
That is the literal.
I've heard that's
That is
funny.
You know,
literally probably one of the best
you-
shows on TV.
You know what I've heard from people that actually work in restaurants? It's too real. They can't
Yep,
watch
that's
it.
I heard the same
They
thing.
can't watch it.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different one.
Oh, it gave me flashbacks.
Never
Yeah.
mind. I was
Really?
thinking of Cocaine Bear. That's a very different thing.
Oh, that's a much different thing.
Ah,
That's a much
yeah.
different thing.
Also great,
Great.
completely different.
What was the topic?
I don't know.
So, all right, to pivot off this AI topic, I watched the
AI.
greatest thing on an AI Instagram reel today. I watched an AI trailer of The Legend of Zelda as a 1950s film.
Oh,
And
I've seen those come out where they like.
And I literally was like, this is the greatest thing I have ever watched. It had a skull spider. It had the fucking bird people. It had the Master Sword. It had Link and Zelda. It had
I'm gonna
everything.
have to
And I
check
was just
this
like,
out.
that is awesome. And I would watch. I make that movie right the fuck
they need
now.
to make that movie. They need to make that movie.
Yeah, and Robotech.
Instead of like redoing Battlestar Galactica, we need things like that.
Yes.
Also, you know what I really want? I really want where all these people are getting these video AI generators because I want to play with one.
Oh, there's so I gotta find it. I forget what it
It's
is.
like I use 6 of them at work.
No, yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's. No, we were actually ripping one of them that was like, oh, this is really good. I'm like, but that horse is moving its legs backwards as it's moving forward. Like, there's always something little you can spot in the background that's just wrong. But yet, some of them are very convincing, though. It's creepy.
Spoken like a true VFX person.
Yeah.
We're probably just going to click on one of these random links. It's totally fine, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
First page Google. You can't go wrong.
Well, about that. That's changed now.
Yeah, I know. Because search engine optimization, anybody can do it. It's for everyone now.
Okay, we are doing a podcast, gentlemen. Should we just move on?
I mean, we can be done. It's 40 seconds left. We hit the end of the momentum.
And the moral of the story is...
We're at 110 minutes.
Yeah. And the moral of the story is everybody be happy that human beings are running this podcast, because this last topic, as it derailed, is what would happen if AI ran this podcast. Actually, it probably wouldn't. It would be very strict and by the book and be probably really good.
Forever. That's because Mark and I argued about Donald Trump, or about Harrison Buck.
We
for like
argued
10
so
minutes.
much, so much.
Yeah,
So that was
Harry.
so long. Good luck editing that one, John. So that has been our topics. As a reminder, we broadcast these live on YouTube at Thursday night at 9:30 approximately Eastern, at 6:30 Pacific. If you can't catch us live, then feel free to watch us on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Oak.
Thanks, Oak.
Thanks, Oak.
Yes. You can follow or like us on our socials at IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Our website is www.iftheseballscoultalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Companion and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.